Hey, what is up my tricksters? It is your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh superhero. Today's video is going to be for Yu-Gi-Oh players who are new or returning Yu-Gi-Oh players. See, because as all of us veteran players know, there was a ban list that dropped recently, which is going to mean some of the players who today took a break because of, stale formats like the one we just experienced with Calamities and Zexal and Dragoon and all that stuff. There was a good chunk of players who probably left the game for a little bit, so I decided I wanted to make a video for them. If you don't fit into that category, that's okay. You can stick around. We're going to be talking about the top 10 typing of monsters in the game. So basically, if you're looking to pick a deck for this new format, what are going to be, a good way to limit what deck you'll choose to play? Well, I got the answer for you, but I'm going to show you the 10 typing of monsters in the game that have like the most support. And the first three will be pretty obvious, even for a returning player. But once you get past number 3, you might see some of these typings on the list might surprise you. So, if you guys that are veterans don't want to stick around, that's totally fine. Just do me a solid and leave me a like. And if you're new, consider subscribing on your way out, and I will catch you in the next video. And if you don't do those things, I'm gonna turn you into a Karibo. I mean, it's just gonna happen, and nobody wants to spend an hour as a tiny fuzzball that's about yay high. So, let's get into the list, shall we? Alright, so like I said, the first 3 are going to be pretty obvious, and that is going to be dragons. Obviously, the dragon typing has to be one of the first ones that we talked about. I want to get the obvious typings out of the way, and that's going to be dragons. Obviously, whether you're looking for something that's a little more fun, or you're looking for something competitive, dragons as a type have a lot of support. They have their own Monster Reborn cards, they have their own Icarus attacks, they have a variety of really big boss monsters that can banish, destroy back row, destroy front row. Dragons have a little bit of everything that you could possibly be looking for. And on top of all that, they have negation. That's one of why dragons are some of the best of the types that you can pick in the game, because a lot of the other types do not have the one thing that dragons have, and that is they have big beefy monsters on top of all the kinds of removal and negation you could ask for. So dragons are definitely a good pick if you're a new returning player. The next one is, maybe you're looking for something more in the mystic arts. Maybe want to channel your inner sorcerer supreme, if you will. And maybe you're a bit of a troll. So so for that, I'm going to suggest to you Spellcasters. Spellcasters are great for control players if you're looking to control the game, because Spellcasters have an exceptionally large amount of back row based decks, and a lot of the monsters have negation, and they come with a lot of things like draw spells, like a variety of spells that can draw, that can be just super powerful and boast a very, like, what's the word I'm looking for? A fluid deck. Basically, you'll go through the deck real fast, get to the cards you need, and so yeah, Spellcasters might be for you if you're a new returning player. And let's face it, guys, it's a high supported archetype. Now these guys, be warned, these guys have floodgates and negation and lots of fluidity, but they do not have the biggest attack points, so that is going to be something you might want to think about in terms of battle. These guys aren't not the biggest. Alright, so we're going to move back to violence here. As a typing of choice, we're going to be going for, that's right, warriors. The guys who are ready to do battle at any moment's notice. And the cool thing about warriors is, on top of being one of the most supported archetypes, the warriors are very unique in my opinion, because they have, like, depending on the warrior deck of your choosing, like the 3 that you're looking at here are just prime examples of that. You can go more control-y with with the 6 samurais as an example, or if you're looking for big beat sticks, heroes and gokis. And also hero decks also have a really cool way of they're like I said, they're kind of like the spellcasters. They're very fluid. A lot of these decks are very able to just fly through the deck real fast. They're consistent. And they're obviously one of the most supported, like I said, one of the most supported typings in the game. So, and if you are looking for something that's like, oh yes, my monster is unaffected by your monster, Goki's where it's at. If you're gonna make sure you want to put an army of heroic seekers of justice, heroes, and don't even get me started on heroes. There's like 5 or 6 variations to the hero deck to pick from. So you can go full elemental, full destiny, full vision, mask, or whatever, a combination of all 4. Like, that's just wild to me that how versatile the hero deck is. So really, if you're looking for something that's versatile, warrior decks are where it's at. They got a little bit of everything. They've got negation, they've got with controls, combat styles, they've got big beefy monsters that can rival the dragons, and they've got consistency that you've never seen. Heroes are a prime example of that. The next one is maybe you want a little bit of a darker aesthetic, and this is where we're going to be getting into things that are, let's face it, guys. This is where things are going to go a little different. Some of you will know, some of these you won't. And if the background didn't give it away, let's give a big helping hand for zombies. Zombies are another archetype with a variety of styles of play, and they have a variety of levels of enjoyment. Like, if you're not really a competitive player, there are zombie decks that are not all hyper competitive and you can just enjoy for an aesthetic, like vampires. That's why we have a vampire in the pictures here. They also have big monsters. They can get big monsters. That's why we have the Shiranui, which also is fun fact. Shiranui have monsters that are splashed into just regular zombie decks. And then if you're looking for more control aspects with lots of removal, Eldritch, and it's very competitive, being able to recycle resources. So the zombies are where it's at. There's a ton of ways to play them, and also if you like zombies and you have the ability to afford all the cards, Eldritch literally has a lot of splashability. So that's another cool thing. Zombies can get splashed in other decks, and that's just wild in and of itself. The next one is probably want to be, for players like Yuki Nono, who probably appreciate this one. You're definitely going to want robots to be on the options, especially because robots are another deck, are another machines, basically, are another typing in the game that has a lot of versatility to it. Depending on the deck you pick, like you have lots of consistency with Cyber Dragons and Machinas. And then, of course, you have, and as we have examples here, you have the Orcus, which can be splashed with other dark monsters like Dangers and Gizmek and the Phantom Knights. And then on top of that, even you have if you look at Dynamist is a water machine deck, which means they get to abuse water attribute cards, which is very unique for a machine deck. Most machine decks aren't water. So, and on top of that, they have a lot of level 5, so they get to abuse stuff from Cyber Dragons. Lots of negation, lots of removal. There's even a good chunk of them that are floodgates even. So literally, it's just, machines are another really good one. You can't go wrong. Oh, and they have a very unique spell and limiter removal. Every machine deck can use that. So if you're looking for something that you want to just beat face, there you go. The next one might surprise all of you, and I'm sure if you've made it to this point in the video, none of you have foreseen this one coming, and that is Cybers. I know. Y'all are all like, Ben, you put Cybers on the list? Hear me out. One, if you look at them, they have a lot... Damn cell phone. Anyway, they have a lot of... they got a good chunk of archetypes, and let's face it, Salamangreat are nothing to slouch at. As just an example here, by the way, the yellow barrier for the picture is so you could actually see it on the blue background. But Salamangreat is a prime example. Strong back row, and there's tons of these weird various monsters that are Cybers typing that aren't even in the Salamangreat archetype, that Salamangreat can benefit from. So it's just an overall good one. And then of course then you got like Link Slayer, which is like go ditch cards and blow up back row. The math mech monsters can literally put on like 10,000 points of damage. So if you're looking to beat face, make negates, control the game, whatever you're looking for. And also it's got tons of new support. It's also supported by a main protagonist from one of the shows, so there's a bonus there. Cybers, go for it. It's a I don't even know what a Cybers monster is, to be brutally honest, but maybe it's a monster made of code. I don't know. The next one we want to talk about is monsters that are a little bit on the darker side of things, especially if you like to play around with your evil side. You might be looking for Fiends. We got some classic stuff, you know, we got like Summon Skull, and then you've got like just some scary decks like DDD and Infernoid. And there's still a plethora of more of Fiend types that can do all sorts of crazy stuff. I didn't even mention Burning Abyss. The Fiends just have all sorts of, and then like, and a lot, and oftentimes Fiends are a weird one. They have big attack points, right? Maybe not the biggest, that's still Dragon's territory. But Fiends also have like, they just have weird support cards, like virus cards that can like cripple an entire portion of a deck. They also have like a lot of, in the case of Infernoids, we're talking about, you know, getting to abuse cards like Monster Gate and Reasoning that most decks can't use. Or field spells like Layer of Darkness, where it's like they can just abuse tributing. Like literally, and before that, only the Monarch deck was the only one that could do that, really. And now we have like all these different Fiend decks that have tribute effects that also could abuse it, so it's kind of fun. And then of course you look at DDD. Now DDD is a very high, big brain type of deck in my opinion. Like, because you can mess up real easy. But the cool thing about DDD is they have a negate for like everything. They got a monster negate, they've got spell negates, they've got battle phase stoppers, and all sorts of just, so if you're a big brain person, maybe Fiends are for you. Maybe you like something that's a little bit challenging for you as a pilot. That's not me. I'm rather of I want to play Big Lizard and smash things, but that's just me. Now for the counterparts, maybe you prefer to be a pious individual. But another good typing of the game is obviously going to be Fairies. Now Fairies are typically known for being more of a control players typing, because they do have stuff like Archlord Christia, which isn't pictured here, but Archlord Christia is a prime example of one, because it's very much like, oh, I'm on the field, haha, no special summoning today. And then, of course, you have Counter Fairies. Herald of Perfection, the various versions of that are also in the Drytron deck, which is technically a machine deck, but hey, combining the best of two worlds, if you're looking to build a deck for this format, consider Fairies. A lot of them also can be mixed with other things, like with, I can just see an example with Drytron, like mixing machine. And there's so many options here. There's Xyz, there's the ritual version, there's like I said, there's Counter Fairies where it's all like trap cards, and then your fairy monsters give you bonuses for negating with your counter traps. So it's all sorts of crazy fun. The next thing we have on the list is fake dragons, aka worms. I decided to go ahead and include a virtual world monster in here, because even though virtual world is like worms and psychics, it's still the same result here. I chose Yang Zing because they're like the first archetype that did it. And then of course Lithogasm, the disaster. Like, I know that Calamities is gone, but with, you know, True Kings still can be splashed in other things. So maybe a deck that uses worms might be something more up your alley. And also, let's not forget that True Draco as a whole deck of worm type monsters that are just like, I'm just gonna, oh, you activate something? I go, okay, I'm gonna go add something. So they go plus off of your opponent trying to counter attack. It's kind of fun like that. And then Virtual World can still do some mean, like, don't let the ban list fool you. Calamities might be gone, but Virtual World can still do some mean shit. So when you're up against them, be careful, pay attention. They can still do things that can loops. Thank you, Tom Box, for showing us that. And they can still do things like, use the Buster Lock because they can go into a Insector Xyz monster. So there's Exabeetle. So it's kind of a... But, you know, hey, I'm just letting you know. I could be mildly annoyed while also suggesting that you might want to play that. The last typing on this game that's on this list is going to be something that's kind of unique and kind of funny. Because there hasn't been a deck of this typing in a long time that has done well. And that is Winged Beast. Yeah, birds. Bird Up is a deck. And you should watch out for Sovereignty because putting a wind statue, one of the decks that I've also saw Bird Up can be splashed with is Harpy Ladies, and that is some dangerous stuff because we're talking about imperm for the entire monster field. Like, nah, all imperm, and then oh yeah, on top of that, good luck getting through that statue or the negate. They can do either one, so. That's the interesting part about the deck, and I definitely think that there's more to that Bird of Sovereignty, and I think that birds are very controlly, but also Blackwings are more of a beatdown deck if you want to, because they have like this. They have a synchro monster that is like, I'm unaffected by everything. So yeah. I definitely think Winged Beasts are definitely something that should be on your list if you are looking for typings to pick in the day in today's game, because let's face it, guys, this is just 10 suggestions of highly supported typings with a variety of play styles. So I wanted you guys to know what the best, most supported types are. So that's the top 10 here. And we're ending it off with birds because they're actually very well supported. And Harpies, on the other hand, also have the ability to search Harpy's Feather Duster, which, how fucking crazy is that? Oh, don't mind me, I'm just gonna search Harpy's Feather Duster, wipe out your back row. Oh, and I also have a trap card that says, oh, no monster effects for you the whole turn. That could cripple anybody. So, just something to think about. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the list. If this video gets like, I want to say like 15 likes or so, I will definitely probably make another one, and we'll probably focus more on like play styles. I think would be the next one to go for. I wanted to start making videos that will be to help Yu-Gi-Oh players who are new or returning figure out what route they want to take. So, and sometimes I felt like going back on the fundamentals is a good way to go about that. So, I know that's a weird video for the day, but also the next video we'll be talking about is going to be some stuff about some holes in the ban list, so stay tuned for that. If you're new here, like I said at the beginning of the video, consider subscribing, and guys, do me a solid and leave me a like. And just another reminder, if you want to support the channel, check the description below. I have merch, and it would be greatly appreciative if you would check it out and let everybody know that you're a trickster by buying some merch. Shirts, stickers, masks, it's all there. Go check it out. You'll enjoy. Anyway, guys, I'm Bit2000 yugioh. I am your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh superhero, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.